big trade that happened today, which I got to be honest, a little overhyped up. I feel like a lot of people are making this out to be bigger than it was. If this trade happened 3-4 years ago, we'd be losing our minds. But here we are again, a name that seemingly isn't really as relevant as it once was because of age. DeAndre Hopkins traded from the Tennessee Titans, who are mailing it in. We said last show that they might be the worst team in the NFL. And what do you know? They're preparing for it. They're in competition right now with the Panthers, and they're trying to get there as quickly as possible. They also made a trade with the Seahawks, moving around some linebackers. But the DeAndre Hopkins deal is sending a 5th-round pick that becomes a 4th-rounder if the Chiefs reach a Super Bowl. Big compensation there. Tennessee's also going to pay Hopkins $2.5 million of his contract. Look, 32-year-old DeAndre Hopkins, I don't know if this really does much. I know that right now that the Chiefs, they kind of were out of the market of the opportunity. They weren't going to be in the conversation for Devontae Adams because it was within the division. They missed out on Amari Cooper, who ends up with the Bills. This was the next best option. Do you bring in a veteran presence that is an adult in the room, that has been around and has played on some really good teams and been to the playoff, that is mature, knows how to play football at a high level, all those things? Are you getting that? Yes. Is he still an all-pro receiver? No, he's not. Could he have a good season this year? There's certainly potential for that, having a better quarterback throwing to him and not piss missile Will Levis, who's throwing the ball 100 miles an hour at him. There's certainly potential, but I don't think this really boosts him as much as some people might speculate.
I have a little game to play with you in a moment, but for DeAndre Hopkins, on his point, I saw him score 3 touchdowns on 3 catches last year against Atlanta, bossing up on these dudes, young DBs, virile DBs that could jump and play the ball. Hey, and he made them look like high schoolers. I think he still has the juice. I think he had Alshon look out. It's a missile thrown to him, and it was an issue. He just needs the ball in his vicinity. Levis can't provide that. Rudolph surprisingly can't provide that. But here's the game, Joe. Is DeAndre Hopkins a better receiving target than these players that got a target for the Chiefs in their last game? Sky Moore, 1 target.
Yes. Yep.
Jody Fortson.
No,
you're okay. Kareem Hunt, running back, not going to count him.
Yeah.
Justin Watson.
Depends on the day.
Oh, you're a sick puppy. Travis Kelce in his advanced age.
Depends what he's wearing before the game.
Noted. McCole Hardman.
Depends if he's healthy.
Xavier Worthy.
No. Xavier Worthy's better than him.
Okay.
McCole Hardman's also, I'm jokingly, yes, McCole Hardman's better than DeAndre Hopkins. I think he's just a tinge better. And then Xavier Worthy, yes, I think he is.
And then lastly, the most targets in the Kansas City Chiefs game against the San Francisco 49ers, Noah Gray.
I mean,
no.
Okay,
Hopkins is a better option than every single Chiefs player that got a target in their last game. And we've talked about it all season, that serious teams, if they see that they can make a Super Bowl, make the playoffs, they improve their team while the season's going on. I hate to keep on bringing up this dead body that is owning a franchise, but Jerry Jones went back on 105.3 this week, and he said, where's the players? Where are they? We have players in-house. Paraphrasing a little bit there, but he was basically exclaiming, I can't find anybody, and the Chiefs got a receiver that still has potential and a little bit of juice in the tank to help them. It's a serious franchise compared to arguably a bottom 10 franchise in total seriousness.
Right. I'm not knocking the move to go get him. I think that there is certainly an advantage to bring in. He still has something left in the tank. 32 is not the end of a career for a receiver, but it certainly is approaching that period of time where a lot of guys tail off. Like Julio Jones, perfect example of a guy who was so dominant, and then he hits 31, 32, falls off a cliff with the Titans, and we don't even really know much about him at the end of his career. All I'm saying is that for anyone who wants to paint, and I don't think many people are doing this. I'm not trying to call anyone out. I haven't seen anyone saying that oh my God. The general casual fan might overhype this than it actually is. Brings in quality receiver who's played in the league a long time, who's had a lot of big accolades, who could have a big game or make a big play because he's a good possession receiver. but he's not the same guy. You know, like it, and I'm saying this to say I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just taking it the step further of it helps, but it doesn't take them over the top.
I would agree. Could you please mute Young Zumo?
Oh shit,
that would be great. But the Chiefs have made people work, receivers work that you wouldn't figure anybody could make work anymore. Kadarius Toney was a good example before he started losing his mind and couldn't remember
he was
how to
never
catch the
good.
ball.
He had one good game against the Dallas Cowboys for the Giants, and then he just said, F it, I'm going to.
He had a big game in the Super Bowl for them. Juju Smith-Schuster, who they brought back, has made, and I will say this honestly, big catches for this team. Juju Smith-Schuster has come in and made an impact. I have full certainty that through, 7 weeks into the season, 11 more weeks, DeAndre Hopkins, who I think is under like 200 yards already on the season, could still end up in the 800 to 1,000 yard range. I truly believe that he could do that this year with Patrick Mahomes and be a difference maker, or at least be an X receiver that defenses will have to focus on even a little bit to open up the offense a little more. The most important thing about Kansas City having Tyreek Hill wasn't just his athleticism or his speed, but it was the fact that defenses weren't allowed to play normal stingy defense with a real good wide receiver on the outside. Take it a couple notches down for Hopkins. It still has to, you can't cheat on defense with that guy as much, because now you can have Worthy punch in the speed. You can have the three nothing tight ends go up the middle and make big third down catches. I think the offense improves greatly with Hopkins in this trade. It's a good trade, a really good one.